So Hannah Hidalgo, her and Olivia Miles were on the same team at Notre Dame, right? And Olivia Miles decides not to go to the draft. She was going to be the number 2 overall pick, most likely going to Seattle. And she decides to not only come back to school, but to leave school. We did a whole thing about it. Mm-hmm. And so you're like, oh, they'll probably never see each other again. There was a lot of issues about Hannah Hidalgo being homophobic. So Hannah Hidalgo and Olivia Miles, who's no longer a Notre Dame student, go to Notre Dame to watch the Dallas Wings play the Las Vegas Aces in a preseason game, which I think is freaking cool. And Olivia Miles is standing there, and Hannah Hidalgo walks up to her. And then they kind of like sort of dap each other up.
That is the most awkward
They're dapping
handshake.
each other up. They're talking, and then Hannah Hidalgo is pointing at her.
That's a
and
no.
she's like, yo,
Me?
You said that. And she's like, me? She's like, this shit's crazy right now. This shit's crazy. Kind of a confrontation. They had to be separated by security, and they're like, hey, take this shit down the road. You can't be in the tunnel anymore. But what do you think they were talking about?
You know, I've seen a lot of people going back and forth on this. Like, they were cool because Olivia Miles, I don't know if you remember, but she went on a TikTok live like a couple days after she transferred.
She's like, yeah, there's nothing. Like, there's no smoke. Everything's good.
Yeah, we're all good. There's nothing there. Like, people are just making it into something it's not. But that was a lot of like, there was a lot of this and a lot of this. A lot of this.
A lot of pointing.
A lot of pointing.
A lot of
and
pointing
a lot of,
for the audio listeners. A lot of pointing for the audio listeners, and a lot of who me for the audio listeners.
A lot of,
and then this little rotation of the fingers, like no, you keep it moving. How about you keep it moving? Or this shit's crazy. I don't know what it is, but Olivia's probably like, listen, I'm trying to do my thing. How about you do your thing? And I don't really want to speak about how that last season went down. I also think it's just kind of crazy because they were supposed to be this backcourt of the future. Slam Magazine put them on the cover. Mm-hmm. And it just ended so disastrously.
So disastrously. And we don't know why. I mean, we don't know why at the end of the day.
We don't know why.
We can speculate.
We don't know why. We can surmise.
We can surmise.
We can surmise.
We can guess. And we can guess that meeting between them didn't look like they were like, hey, buddy, miss you every day. It didn't.
There was no hug.
There was no hug. That was as far as two humans could be from each other in order to shake hands. Olivia looked like, I'm not coming closer. Hannah was like, I'm not coming closer.
Yeah, because I don't want to touch you, devil. I'm not touching you, devil.
She had her hold my hoop.
She had her holy water. No, she had her holy water with her splash. You want to talk about full court press?
Yeah, I want to talk about it quickly. What did you think? We just watched episode 1.
I only have one take. And it's just somewhat of what I've already said, which is Hannah Hidalgo on her Jesus pulpit right away, and us hearing from no other teammates and only hearing from Nell Ivy, her head coach, and them saying how potent that they're going to be, her and Olivia Miles are going to be. Boy, did that age like spoiled milk. And also people saying there was a lot of concerns about whether her and Olivia would be able to function together in a backcourt, and we know now, since Olivia Miles has transferred, it did not function that well for whatever reason that was, and I just thought it was fucking bananas. For us to get the intro scene on Hannah at a mega church, listening to the preacher or pastor talk about his sermon, I was like, oh my goodness, what is this?
That's also, I mean, that's like a very clear artistic choice too, in that, you know, the producer, director.
I was like, is Hannah Hidalgo running this?
Well,
is she running this thing?
Meaning, when you look at it this way, like they all three had different opening scenes, right? Like you have Flage for people who haven't watched it yet or haven't heard about it yet. Flage, Hannah Hidalgo, Kiki Ariafin. So Kiki and Flage opens up. She's watching film. Mm-hmm. Right? Like that's what you see. The first thing you see Flage doing is watching film. The first thing you see Kiki doing is with her family. The first thing you see Hannah doing is praising Jesus. So I feel like that's
listening to the church talking about Jesus is the only thing I think about. Oh, and she also said, being a good Christian to me means being a great neighbor. And I was like, ooh, girl, being a great neighbor. That's all I have to say.